Today I'll be showing you how to pipe some of the most popular vintage style borders, including shells, drop strings, ruffles, and swags. These are the piping tips you'll need. You can of course use any color to practice, but I chose these colors to match the practice sheet. Let's jump right in and start with the large shell border. Start by holding your piping bag at a 45-degree angle. Squeeze to form a ball, and then gradually release pressure off the bag as you swipe the piping tip towards vertical against the practice sheet. Here's a closer look. Reset to 45, squeeze, and swipe to finish and form the tapered end. You can also do a really subtle pendulum swing motion where you lift up slightly while you squeeze and then swing it the other way to finish. Now let's try it with a smaller piping tip. We'll do the same thing and hold it at a 45-degree angle, squeeze to form a ball, and then swipe and release pressure to form the tapered end. Make sure each shell overlaps with the tail end of the previous one so that they're all connected. The smaller shells take a little more precision and control. It's such a small movement, so just keep practicing and you'll get the hang of it. Next up is the drop string. Start with your piping tip really close to the sheet and squeeze to make contact. Then lift off slightly and squeeze with continuous pressure. Let gravity drop that string down, and once you've made it to the end, stop squeezing and tap down to finish the line. The reason for that slight hover, rather than simply tracing the line, is to create a little space for the piping tip to form a clean, cylindrical string. And also, when you're piping these vertically on the side of a cake, you'll need to let gravity be involved to make a symmetrical parabola, and this will make your piping look very professional. Just make sure to start and end your drop strings really close to the practice sheet to anchor those two ends, and you'll be good. Now you can add those same small shells from before, one at a time right in between each pair of drop strings to pull it all together. Shells, whether they're large or small, or horizontal or vertical like this, they're a signature part of vintage cakes, so get a lot of practice in all their variations. Next up are the Ruffle Swags. You'll notice on the petal tip there is a rounded side and a pointed side to the opening. Position the tip with the rounded side up and the pointed side down. Then squeeze as you go down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up along that curve. The rounded side of the piping tip should be touching the practice sheet and dragging as you squeeze down and up. But the pointed end should be lifted off the sheet slightly. That space is what allows the ruffle to taper and fold underneath itself to create a three-dimensional look. We are back to the shells again, and this time they're really mini, and these are going to be a trim to clean up the top edge of each of the Ruffle Swags. For these mini shells, it can be helpful to count them and pick a number to be consistent. So I've chosen 5 shells to go across each swag, 2 down, 1 across, and then 2 going back up. Vintage cakes are all about precision and symmetry, so this attention to detail will really set your cakes apart. Next, let's learn the reversed shell, or as I like to call it, the swirly swirl. This one can be a little tricky for your brain to comprehend, but you got this. Hold your piping tip straight up and down with a slight hover, then squeeze as you loop your piping tip in alternating directions. Imagine we're on a roller coaster. We're going into the loop, up and backwards, then swing it back down and continue on. Then we'll go in the opposite direction and loop it down and back around. Loop-de-loop up and loop-de-loop down. It's a really fun one. Just trace the template over and over again and you'll start to understand the movement. We're back to the large shell. This is the same technique as the first one, but I wanted to show you what it looks like with a different tip. The fun thing about cake decorating is once you learn a technique, you can create so many variations of it using a different tip. We made it to the final technique on the practice sheet, and this is a basic ruffle. Position your piping bag at a low angle, about 20 to 30 degrees, and again with the pointed side down, rounded side up. Then squeeze continuous pressure as you move your piping tip up and down, just very slightly as you move your hand across the sheet. And that is it. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial and that it helps you make beautiful vintage cakes. You can get this practice sheet and find more cake decorating resources on our website, thesweetspotworkshops.com. See you next time!